Hey guys, Cowbell here. Today we're going to be talking about the new event that CCP just released called Winter Nexus Fusion of Festivities. I've been running this for a couple days, was debating doing a video or not, but I've been having a lot of fun, so I figured I'd show you guys a couple things, let you know what the event's all about, show you some of the loot, and just let you know about the fun I've been having over the past couple days. Today I was running a bunch of different sites with my good buddy Nova Valentis, leader of Bombers Bar, trying out a bunch of different fits, and been having a ton of fun, making a ton of ISK, and that's always good for new players. So first thing I wanted to talk about with you guys is just the daily rewards. So if you check out the daily login campaign, 13 days in Nexus, it's your pretty standard stuff for what CCP gives out. Got yeet filaments, we got skill points, accelerators, that give you a bonus to your attributes, a couple different things like t-shirts and skins, all that good stuff. So that's easy. All you got to do is log in to get those daily. Now there is another chain of events. This is the big thing that everybody's doing. So around New Eden, there's storms in all systems. So we're talking high sec, low sec, and null sec. And they have different missions that you could do. As you can see, this Yule Festival here on the left hand side, there's different challenges. You could read through them. There's mining challenges, there's exploration challenges, and there's combat site challenges as well. They each give you a certain amount of points. So this one on top right here, you can see would give you 5 points. You need a total of 650 points to get all the rewards. I found you could grind this and usually get them knocked out if you get good rolls. Sometimes these will be really small, like 5 points, and then there's ones that give you like 50 points or more. But depending on your rolls, you could usually crank it out in about I'd say about 5-6 hours, so maybe 2 days worth of grinding. You get a lot of cool things. These accelerators, same thing you get with the logins. These just give you a little bit of boost to your skill training. They sit in a slot you don't have to worry about if your pod gets destroyed. So again, just a nice little bonus that you don't have to worry about. And it also they're pretty common, so they're also cheap as well, which is really nice. So I suggest for the entirety of the event, because these things do expire, to make sure you have them active, give you that nice little boost. And as you can see, I have 660 points. I've completed all the challenges. I was mainly going for the skins. A bunch of really, really cool skins. I was specifically going for the claw skin right here. There's a raptor, a fly catcher towards the end. Saber, that's another big one. These automatically go on your account, so you cannot sell them. So that's just a heads up. They'll turn up in your box right here, the unclaimed items, and you have to select them and redeem the items. You can only do that if you're in a station, so just a heads up. So that's a little bit about the event. Now we're going to talk about, well, where do you find these storms that are ongoing? Again, they're in high sec, low sec, and null sec. High sec has been very, very safe. It's very profitable too, depending on the drop set you get, but this is how you find them. You go to the map, you're going to go to the little cogwheel up here at the top, and we're going to go to geography and statistics. We're going to scroll down, scroll down, and let's see, I'm trying to find it. Here, the storms right here on the bottom. So click that. This will show you all the systems that the storms are going on in. So I found the red sites to have the most amount of activities to do, but it also depends on what system you're in. If you're in a really, really busy system close or near to Jita, the sites are going to be highly contested. So you could really go to any of these sites. If I scroll out, you can see just how many there are. And we'll scroll back in. So I'm in a system that has one of these storms. These storms do move as well. I believe it's every day they move one tile. Don't hold me to that, but I've actually seen them moving around the map, which is really, really cool. So I am in a system with a storm already. We're going to close this out. And first thing we're going to do is we're going to do a combat site. So I'm going to undock. I'm running my standard golem fit. This is my blinged out golem. I wouldn't expect anybody to be running this. It's pretty overkill and ridiculous for running these sites. These the ships that you're going to be fighting, the Sancha ships, they're weak to EM. So basically, any fit that you put together, any tier 2 battleship is usually going to work. Even some battle cruisers. So I've seen Gnosis running these sites. I've seen Rattlesnakes, Drekvet. I've seen Golems, and I've seen Raven Navy issues. The world is yours as long as you could tank a pretty good amount of DPS. I say you want to have about a ship that could tank about 600 to 700 incoming DPS per second. Outgoing DPS doesn't really matter because they don't rep or anything, so you don't have to worry about any of that. But anyway, this is how you find these sites. You go to your scanner, your probe scanner, and it's going to be these right here. So let me expand this. The Wightstorm forward combat sites, and that's where we're going to be going. And let me go ahead. What's the closest one? Let's go to this guy right here. And since they're in high sec, these will be contested. You could also set a filter. You could turn off cosmic signatures. If you want, you could hide the ice sites. So you could ignore the results if you don't want to see the ice sites. But sometimes you do have to do some of these ice mining missions. Any of the ice mining ships could run any of those. So if we go to the ore and we scroll out, any of the frigates right here, ice mining frigates, or any of these right here, the procurer or the retriever. I use the retriever to do the mining sites. Now all of these sites, whether it's ice or it's the combat sites, takes you to a gate. Usually it's best if you're in a battleship to warp to 10k out. I warped to the gate, and you can see I'm probably going to get stuck on the gate. Let's see what happens. And these sites spawn a random amount of ships. So the most I've ever seen, I believe, is 2 cruisers, and I believe it was 8 frigates as well. The frigates, they neutralize, they web, they scram. Once you kill the first wave, you get a single spawn of a battleship. So you'll see when I land in, I'm going to park my ship. I'm going to turn on my multi-spectrum. I'm going to turn on my missile scripts. And I'm going to go into Bastion just because I'm a golem and I have it. Overkill for the site. And I have EM missiles, or EM torpedoes loaded. And I'm running the short range. Usually all these ships are within about, I believe 15 km is the max they sit out. They're a little slow to get on top of you, but you can see how long it takes for them to spawn in. So, and also sometimes these guys warp away. So let's see what they actually do. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 frigates and a cruiser. You're going to see the incoming damage. You also start to see on the right hand side over here. So I'm already getting newts on me. You usually want to go after the ships that are neuting you, depending on what ship you're flying. Let's see what happens. I'm going to take out the cruiser first, just because he's the first one targeted, and he's also neuting me. I'm guessing these guys will put newts on me as well. Now, since I'm in Bastion mode, you're not going to see me get warp scram, but I could assure you these guys do warp scram. So take out my first target right there, and then I'm going to go after this guy, because again, he's neuting me. You could also go next for the ships. It would be the ones that are scramming you. Because if you have to warp out for any reason, you want to be ready. So we got that guy as well. Next I'm going to go with the web ships, although I'm stationary, so it doesn't even matter. They could take them out with torpedoes in my golem fit, doing about, I think I'm doing about 10,000 alpha. Usually takes them out in 2 to 3 missiles. And what you can do is you could stop your shot, and you could also swap over to the next target, put out a flight of drones, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to send them on this guy. I'm going to have him kill him, and then I'm going to immediately pull them back. Now, these sites are not made for drone boats. Do not take a Gila or take a Dominix in here. Also, you do not want to try to have a really kitey ship. These guys are really fast, and they'll catch up to you, so... And you saw how many webs there were on me, so taking a kitey fit, not the best option in here. But here's what we're gonna do. Gonna rep a couple cycles, turn the repper off, and see how I have that little sliver. So I'm gonna put out my kinetics, get him on this guy, and I'm gonna swap to my next target. And I'm actually going to keep my drones out. You'll see how easily they take aggro. This guy should swap over once they start hitting him. Let's see. But again, no drones. Do not take a Gila in this site. You will die. And this is the first wave. The next wave is going to be a single battleship. He does do a ton of DPS. I'm just going to warn you ahead of time. He's not that difficult to kill. You just got to make sure that you can tank the incoming DPS. I do not salvage any of these things. They're not worth anything. The only thing that drops money is the battleship. And one thing you do want to watch out for, like I said, sometimes these guys do warp out to like 400 or 500 km out. They'll just warp back on top of you, so be aware of that. And the battleship I've seen, he spawns anywhere between 12 km out, and I've seen him spawn out to about 25 km. So you just got to be aware of that. So remember, this is a pretty blingy battleship right here. If you've ever seen it, worth 2.9 billion. Look, and you can see him chunking me away pretty good. This guy does a good bit of DPS, but not much in terms of tank. Again, I'm shooting EM at him, and I'm going to turn on my repper. I'm going to turn off my Bastion module just because I'm going to kill him before I need to run another cycle. Whoever gets top DPS on the ship is the one that gets the loot, so be aware of that too. If you're in here with a golem and trying to fight a golem, and you can see he scrammed and webbed me as well. Yeah, if you're in here with a golem, they're going to out DPS you. If you're in here with a rattlesnake or a vindicator, they're going to out DPS you, so be aware of that. And let's pull this loot in and let's see what we got. People do steal these loot items all the time, so be forewarned. People are going to steal stuff from you. And standard stuff, I got a couple of Overseer pieces, junk module that I don't care about, and I got a skin. So this was actually a pretty terrible site. Yeah, it's still 4.5 million plus a little bit in bounties. Nothing I'd write home about. So that's what these combat sites are. They go really quick. There's none in the system right now, but if you actually go back, I tether up usually on some sort of station, whatever's in system. I'll get my capacitor back a little bit. I'll let it regen my shields, make sure I reload all my missiles, get ready for the next site, and just wait for these to pop up. Don't be surprised if people jump in a site and follow you. What they're going to do is they're going to fight all the ships with you, and then they're going to fight for that last battleship and try to get the loot. Now, in terms of loot, I'll show you that a little bit later. I want to show everybody the loot tables for this whole event, but I've seen everything from about 5 million ISK. I've seen boosters drop, rare skins drop, or Serpentis skins. Seen all sorts of different things. The most I ever pulled out of a site was, I want to say I got a rare roll on a skin for an Orca that got me pretty darn close to about 500 million ISK. So that's a really, really good pull for a high-sec site. Now there are, while we're here, I'll talk about the data sites. These cosmic signatures, now they could be other things like wormholes or whatnot, but generally these are cosmic signatures you have to scan down. These are data sites, so not relic, but data sites. And later in this video, I'm going to show you my fit for running these data sites. Same thing with the high sec sites. You're going to get low ISK per hour running these. I'd say the safe bet is anywhere between 5 and 10 million per site. Depends. You could get a good roll. I've seen high-end skins as well in the data sites. I've also seen, I got like a Macarial glacial skin. So you never know what you're going to get out of them, but they're very, very much worth doing. Now, in terms of how much money you can make, high sec is going to be probably the worst ISK per hour. Low sec would be the best ISK per hour. Null sec would be kind of in between, in the middle. The sites in low sec, if you're thinking about doing those sites, they're a little bit more difficult. I believe they have an extra wave. You're also doing them in low sec, so you're going to be contesting with other people, whoever owns the system, or any of the groups that roam the system. You're going to be fighting them with the warp scramblers on the NPCs, you're going to have to be real careful. I would not take anything worth probably more than about 500 million ISK into low sec unless you really, really know what you're doing. But be careful. If you look at Zkill and look at all the kill boards, even for these high sec sites, it's actually pretty hilarious. You see people losing Gilas and Dominics and Gnosis. These ships are pretty they're pretty difficult. They remind me a lot of the Trinclavian events. If you remember running those high sec sites, you make about the same ISK per hour. You could fly the same ships. Again, these are made for tier 2, battleships with tier 2 modules on them. So I'm going to go ahead and pause it here, and next we're going to be talking about the hacking sites. So next we're going to talk about the exploration fit that I'm running. I am using a Buzzard. You could also use a Helios. You want to use a ship that has 5 mid slots. Scanning these sites down could be rather difficult, so the more bonuses you could get, the better. So as for my Buzzard, I am running a Sister Core probe launcher, and Sister Core probes, pretty standard. I'm also running a covert op cloaking device, and I bring a festival launcher with me because it has snowballs. Some of your daily chores to do are chuck snowballs at NPCs and fellow players, so you can get that done while you're out exploring. I have 2 of the range finding arrays. I have 1 of the scan acquisition. I have an afterburner 2. You could run a micro warp drive if you want. It all comes down to personal preference. And I'm also running a data analyzer 2. You could run a level 1, but that makes hacking the sites that much more difficult. I like this thing to be a little bit agile, so I run a nanofiber and also an inertia stabilizer. And for my rig slots, I'm running the small gravity capacitor. I'm running 2 of those. Now, what you're going to want to bring with you is these filaments right here. And the way to differentiate the filaments, if you look at the number right here, 01 stands for how many players. So 1 player. 05 would be 5 players, and 10 would be 10. The L stands for low sec, H stands for high sec, and the N stands for null sec. You could also tell by the color of the reindeer. These are actually reindeer, believe it or not. You can tell by the color of their nose. So red would be null, and blue would be high sec, and yellow would be low sec. The ones you want if you're doing data exploration is going to be, you for sure want to have 5 of the low sec. These tend to jump you in systems you don't want, so you may have trouble finding a good pocket. Always have a couple extra. So if you have any questions about this fit, let me know. I'm going to post a link to the fit so you guys can copy it over. And also, I'm going to fast forward in this video a little bit. I took one of the filaments. One thing I want to note is you have to be in a fleet to take the filament, so make sure go to fleet, go to this little right here, fleet actions, form fleet. You have to have your safety set to red to take the filament, and they're pretty easy to use. You cannot take them near a station, so make a safe point out in space and take them out there. There's a 15-minute cooldown timer for the filaments, so just like the Trinclavian ones, if you take one, you're going to have to wait some time. So again, I'm going to fast forward to this video. I'm going to take a low sec filament, and we'll pick up from there. Hey guys, so I actually changed my mind. Since this pocket is so quiet, I'm actually going to scan down a couple other sites, and we'll run them all. It's going to take a few minutes, and I'll let you know what the next point in the video is. So if you want to skip all this, feel free. So we're going to approach. We're going to AB twice. I'll just hit orbit, and we'll wait for it to get in range for my data scanner. Now you could be scanning down other sites while your ship is burning in, but I'm just going to take it slow, take it easy. Alright, so we'll do that. AB off, scanner. Remember rule of 5, look it up on YouTube if you don't know anything about scanning. Okay, you always got to take out these guys. And usually, actually, when there's a lot of, you see a lot of viruses, that's a good sign that you're moving in the right direction. Okay, let's go skip that. I hope I don't regret it. Rule of 5, nothing over there. Let's go with this guy. Okay. It just goes to show you these sites are easy with these level 2 scanners. Okay, great. So let's do this. We're going to stack and take the loot we want. We want this, the skin, the filament. I'm not too worried about those, and I'm going to take the the implants. So I'm going to dock up and just, we'll talk about this loot again real quick. I do have some more neutrals in system, so I'm going to hold off on doing any more scanning. We'll pull our probes in. I could tether on the Buzzard, but I'm going to dock up at one of these player stations, or excuse me, NPC stations, and just wait for these guys to get out of here. Let's actually do a quick D-scan. So it's an Algos and a Demonos. Okay, I don't know what the Algos is doing here. Demonos? Demos? I'm not sure. We'll let them pass through. And let's go and let's talk about the loot again. So, got a Tempest skin, really not worth anything. There's that Glacial skin, some more Overseer junk. Let's see what else. Now, these can be worth something. The only problem is, let's see what it's worth in contracts. Yeah, it's really not worth that much. 7.5 million. These were worth quite a bit earlier, but they've gone down tremendously in price. But I have seen some better ones. I've seen ones worth about 20 million. We'll again talk about that in the loot table. And also, don't forget to claim your rewards. So we'll claim that one. We'll claim that one. Although I'm done with my events, that's actually funny. The points go up. But let's see, what else did I get? So kill a battleship in a combat site and open a data vault. And those other two guys. 3 guys, looks like they're left system. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to undock. I want to see what this, see what kind of ship that guy's in. I'm going to warp towards the Buzzard because it's got the tether. And let's see. Demos, yeah. He's probably, I think there's 0 chance he's going to be doing, yeah, he's not scanning. There would be probes out. So I'm not too worried about that guy. Let's go tether up to the Buzzard, and let's try to scan down these other sites. Let's go with this guy. Let's see, what's he close to? So he's got to be within 4 AU of this. So let's put it over this guy. Looks pretty centered. Let's go 4 AU. Analyze. Those are my scanner probes. Okay, perfect. Alright, let's go with the 7.9. It actually found both of them. So let's go with this. I'm going to close D-scan for now. Center it up. Good. Going to raise it up a little bit. And move it over. And I'm going to go down. Let's go down 2. Okay, so we're scanning at 1 AU. Check D-scan. Those still my probes. Perfect. Okay, got a good hit on the data site. If I luck out, I will get it on this try right here. Usually takes about 3, but most of the time it takes 4 tries. And I'm going to go all the way down to 0.25. And if we get lucky, it'll find it. We'll see. Sometimes it puts you at like 97. Okay, perfect. And we're going to warp to the site. And I'll just show you an example. If you actually wanted to, scan while you're going to other sites, you go back to 4, put it down, you could scan. So you could be running these really quickly, and while you're running to and from sites, you could be scanning at the same time. Let's see. Those are my scanner probes. Okay. So we are going to approach. We're going to orbit 2 cycles of the prop mod. And while it's burning in, let's close this out. I always have a hard time seeing when that's open. Let's go here. We're going to put it on top. And we're going to go down 2. Boom. Analyze. Let it do its thing. Oh, forgot to lock it up. That's alright. Oh, looks like it was a wormhole in that other one. No big deal. Okay, within 1 right here. Okay. Rule 5 was right in the center. You always go towards always go towards the node with 5 items around it. Okay, so got a skin, got a filament, a couple filaments, a tech chip, and we got a couple other just crummy things. So we'll throw them in there. I'll take that filament, this other stuff we don't care about. And I am going to warp back to the Fortizar at 0. You know what? Take the fireworks. Oh, too late to get the fireworks. No worries. That's a wormhole. Ignore result. Boom. Pull the probes back in. And so what you could do is while you're waiting for sites to spawn, just go back and forth in between. Ooh, he's in a Punisher now. Interesting. Okay. Oh, that's another guy. So actually, that's good timing. And if we show info, this is just a crummy little tier 1 frigate. But he would still be troubled. Odds of him having scanner probes on his ship are pretty much 0. Let's see if he has them out. So yeah, he's probably just doing faction warfare. He's up to something else. But this is the time when you're waiting for the sites to respawn that you go and drop off your loot. Let's see. And if I stack up. Not a bad little haul. So you guys have been with me for what, about, let's say, 10 minutes. I've run a couple sites, pulled in, let's say, close to about 50 million ISK, if that. It all depends on how you could sell these things, and maybe if you could like build this blueprint, it might be worth a little bit. I did get another high sec filament, which is great, and it gave me another null sec filament. Didn't give me any more low sec, but if it were me, I would just stay in this system. It's been pretty quiet. There's a nice tether spot, and I would just keep running these sites as they spawn. So next thing we're going to talk about is the different type of loot you guys could get. Alright guys, so now what everybody is waiting for. How much ISK am I actually going to make? Let's pull up my inventory in my Winter 2020 box. And as you can see, these sites are very, very profitable. So I'm going to go through a couple things. The estimated price down here, so we have about let's call it 2.4 billion ISK. That's just estimated price. It's not always exact, but it's pretty close. One thing it doesn't show is these blueprints right here, so they're not included in the price down here. You can see it's 0. Now this Phantasm's worth 100 million. These other ones worth about, give or take about 10 million, depends. You could build them yourself, but it's pretty expensive to build them. You're also going to get a lot of fireworks, faction ammo, tons and tons of these Overseer, these little pieces right here. You're going to sell these to NPCs. You're going to get a ton of boosters as well, 371 million. These cerebral accelerators, these don't show up in the loot table, or excuse me, in the estimated price either. So let's click on them, view market details. I have 16 of those at 15 million a pop. 6 of these guys right here, these are worth 75 million a pop. These are the same. Also, keep your eye out for these Vigor Compact Power Cores. These go for quite a bit, and a lot of people don't even pick them up. They look like just normal items that you wouldn't want. A lot of skill books and also a lot of skins. Another thing is these skins are not showing up in the price table. A lot of them are, but not all of them. So, for example, let's check out this skin right here, and I want to talk about this one. So, this is an Orca Sancha skin. 0 estimated price. I actually found this in a high-sec data site. And if you check it on the Jita market, this thing's going for between 400 and 500 million ISK. So remember, take this price, add in some of these skins that aren't showing up, some of the blueprints, you're actually looking maybe even closer to 3 billion ISK in about 6 to 7 hours worth of high-sec data sites, high-sec combat sites, and low-sec data sites. Another thing I want to show you guys is I have a couple more items sitting in another station. So here's another about 300 million ISK, and I also have a few other items that just were too big to haul. These Overseer effects, they're 10 meters squared, 10 meter cubed, excuse me, in space. So they're kind of hard to haul around in, especially like an explorer ship. But add on another about 300 million and then about another 100 million at the station. So if I'm lucky and I sell some of the stuff, we're talking maybe close to, 3-4 billion ISK. We also have to consider, tax prices and hauling this stuff out to Jita as well. But not a bad little haul for 2 days of work, 6 hours. The low sec sights you're probably going to make on average, I'm just putting a random number on it, about 25 million on the low end per data site. The combat sites are substantially more. As for high sec, the combat sites, again, depends on the drops, but I would put it at about between 10 and 15 million ISK, probably closer to 10 million ISK per site, whether it's combat or data. Low sec, you're looking at about 15 to 20 as well. So if you're going to pick a place to do this, I'd say probably low sec, but be careful in the low sec combat sites. They're a lot harder than in high sec. And if you got any questions about the loot, you just let me know. So the last thing I wanted to talk about was the fireworks that you get from this new event. You have your standard snowball fireworks. You have the Yule Festival, the Snow Star Crystal Burst, the Rim Frost Star Burst fireworks. So we're going to load up some of these guys. And I just wanted to tell everybody thank you for making it such a wonderful year for my YouTube channel. I've got quite a few new subscribers, and I just want to tell everybody thank you for your support. It's been really, really awesome. I also want to spend a second and just throw a shout out to the groups I've been flying with, specifically Spectre Fleet, Bombers Bar, Everything's Better with Friends, and Bjornby. So I am now in Bjornby's corp of ESS robbers. It's been so much fun. And also just special shout out to Odyssey from Spectre Fleet. Has just been awesome in keeping all the fleets together. We have Nova Valentis with Bombers Bar. He's the leader. He's been really, really awesome. I spent about, I want to say, 4 hours today just testing silly little fits with him. And Kyate from Everything's Better with Friends, he is one of the absolute best FCs I've ever flown with. And, of course, Bjornby, if you find him on Twitch, he is one of the best streamers on Twitch, one of the best streamers for EVE Online. And I'm proud to be friends with him, proud to fly with him, and we've had so much fun, whether it be the ESS fleets or it's the pipe bomb fleets when the war first started. And lastly, just a special thanks to CCP for making such a great game. I know it's silly that we've all been playing this game for so long, but I still find enjoyment, even though they do some silly stuff once in a while. I think the game's really moving in the right direction, and I've just been having a ton of fun making new friends. And of course, if you have any questions, comments about the video, you can leave them below. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. That would make my Christmas. And that's it. That's all I got for you. This will probably be the last video of the year. We might come out with some other stuff for Bombers Bar. We got some stuff in the works there. But keep an eye out. And I hope to see you in-game. My in-game name is The Cowbell. You can send any mail messages there. I'll get back to you. And like I said, have a great Christmas, a great New Year, and fly safe. See you guys on the other side.
Try to make you understand.